Then we go live. Having all kind of technical difficulties tonight. Let's see what we're gonna do. Trying to come back around too. What's going on, Hank? Hopefully you can hear me. It's been crazy, boy. Woo! Crazy. Just trying to go back live. Scared to see if I'm live on the radio. Glad I'm on YouTube. So let me see if I'm on the radio. I think I'm live on the radio. 1212 Black High Five. Their radio feedback. Black High Five. Their radio feedback. Okay. All right, I'm live. Crazy. And that don't want to act right. They were completely off on me. I had to rearrange everything again. Not much, man. Hope everything's good with you. I'm all discombobulated. I figure out exactly what I'm about to talk about on this affirmative action thing. Come on in, family. Don't be afraid. Put your feet up on the counter. Let's get ready to go on this ride together. You gotta excuse my internet. My internet's slow as hell. I don't know what's going on. We're gonna try to see if we can make it over the door tonight or not. Get it back. Alright. Pull up a seat. Strap yourself in, family. As we begin to do our thing. Alright, alright. Come on. All right. One more time. Booyah! Here I am. Woo! Good evening, everybody. Hope my sound is all right. Woo! Come on. As we proceed, vibe with me a little bit. Ride out with me a little bit. All right, here we go. Without further ado, let's do this. Let's pop that there. Let's hit that there. Let's cue that, right? Okay, I want to say welcome back to everybody to the Black Hot Fire Network show. I'm your host, Mr. Black Hot Fire. Always on that ass. Now we're broadcasting live from the homeland of the United States of America all the way over to the mother continent of Africa, because we're truly one of the only international radio program, and that's what's up. Now I want to give a shout out to everybody who watches on YouTube, everybody on Facebook, everybody on Twitter/Periscope, everybody on Rumble, everybody listening to us on the flagship station, BlackHotFireNetwork.com, and all podcasting platforms globally. So strap on your headgear and get ready for the ride. Because you know why? School's back in, stupid. Here we go. Black Hot Fire. Come on. Now, as we proceed to give you what you need, don't be scared. Come on and smash that like button. Sub to the channel if you're new. Because you're definitely going to find something you learn. Black Hot Fire. Come on. Let's check all the cameras, make sure everything's up running. Ideally with my messed up internet, right? We're gonna make it do what it do. Black, hot, fire. Woo! Come on. What's going on, Hank? Black, hot, fire. Sounds so good. Here we go, here we go. Black, hot, fire. Woo! Come on. Black, hot, fire. And we got like 1,000 people over there. What's everybody's comments? What else everybody's comments that just hang up in the chat room? What kind of shit is going on here? Black, hot, fire. Black, hot, fire. Woo! Come on. Black, hot, fire. Black, hot, fire. Come on. Woo! Sounds so good. Get my internet to work. Shit, my internet is fucked up. My internet is messing up, man. Can't get nothing to act right. Can't get the videos to play. But try to do what it do. Okay, family, I wanted to discuss this recent SCOTUS decision. The Supreme Court just decided that affirmative action was now going to be null and void as far as college tuitions are concerned. Okay, as far as college, getting into college. Now, I wanted to say for a long time, it's been enough. As black people, we have been destroyed as a people. A concerted effort to make sure that we needed the shit get off the pot. Sadly enough. And we've been destroyed. Our families have been destroyed since the, mid to late 1960s, with them ushering in a single parent household. And so we had enough time to come together as black men, black women, to make sure our children were put in the best situation of educating them, and then making sure we had schools of our own. It's mighty funny now that everybody's allowed to go to our institution. Isn't it funny? We had historically black colleges that really didn't do anything for black people, but they should have been a bastion of black excellence. Our HBCU should have been a bastion of black excellence, where we didn't have to go to anybody else's school. But we built up and developed those schools and created black excellence. Right? And sadly enough, look at this thing on? Okay. Sadly, that did not happen. What the heck is wrong with this thing? Okay. Excuse me, I'm trying to see something. Alright. And sadly enough, a lot of these things did not happen. And now we're being put in a disadvantage because these other individuals who we helped during the civil rights movement, family. I want you to know when they talking about Amendment 14 to the Constitution, that was black people who fought for all these amendments. So you got the Asian group out there, specifically the Asians, believe that they're now being discriminated against in higher numbers, but not be allowed to be, because of the few numbers of black people going to college. Now, have the numbers here. It's all comparative, really, to our percentage as a people or percentage as a race of people in this country. Asian are 6 to 7% of the population in this country. African Americans are between 13-14%, and our enrollment is, let me see what it is. I think it's our enrollment is around 11 to 12% of the population in this country. So it's pretty comparable. So I don't see how anybody would feel like they've been left out. But a bigger number of Asians go to school more than any other group. Asians are 59% of their total population goes to school. Caucasians is 42%. Latinos or Hispanics is 38%, between 39 and 38%. African Americans are somewhere around 36 to 37% of our whole total population of us. So we're a little bit under half of our people go to college, which is not too bad because sadly enough, these college degrees are pretty much worthless today. It's beneficial for a lot of black people to go to trade schools. That's why they closed down a lot of these trade schools in high school, where you can take half the trade during high school. You can take a trade and come out of high school and either start your own business or start an apprenticeship to start creating money. And so I don't think a college education is valued as much as it used to be. I think it's all smoke and mirrors. But the cost of a college education, it takes you your whole life to pay it back. So where is the benefit? And the jobs that are supposed to be out there for college graduates just do not exist. They don't exist, family. They don't exist. That's why people are being mired in school debt. So I want to look at it first from an economic perspective. First, by just saying it's just racism. We know at the end of the day, racism is always baked in the cake in this country. Where they talk about reverse racism, the fields always stacked in their favor. But they would say reverse racism if a few black people are able to squeak through the cracks. And all people are against us. We have no friends. We need to understand that. As much as we fought for everyone else, we have no friends. And I'm going to read an article proving to you that we have no friends and that the civil rights movement helped everybody. All these rights that we fought for help more people than are beneficial to other groups more than it's ever been to us. Isn't that funny? It's been more beneficial to other groups of people than it has been to us. We done the fighting on the ground for these said benefits, but have not really done anything for us. Affirmative action has never done anything for us. It's never been implemented on a wide scale throughout this country to pull up black people. Nowhere. The funny part, the vast majority of any of these cities are blackly populated, right? You got a few of the biggest cities in the country that are majority black, and black people run none of it. Just because you see some handkerchief head, boot-licking, answering mayor that's black doesn't mean he answers to black people. That's what you see. You have a black official while all black people are mired in poverty because they do not represent black people. None of the contracts are specifically given out to black people. That was only one time I remember. That was Washington, D.C. back in the late 70s and 80s with Marion Barry, who actually gave contracts out to black companies and pushed black business. Now, if you have political control of any city, you're supposed to have economic control of the city, regardless of who it hurts. And black people have not learned that. And sadly enough, these politicians have never represented us to begin with. They've always represented white power. So affirmative action never helped us. Now, it might have helped a few women in government positions, but out in the private world, it's never done nothing to benefit us. These businesses that were supposed to be created from affirmative action never materialized. Because even though they said we had affirmative action, we never qualified for the loans. You got that? They never gave us the loans. They gave it to Asians, East Indians, and all other people to start businesses within our community. And so to fleece off our backs. That's what we've experienced here in America the last 60 years. By influx of immigrants that were put over top of us to be a buffer people. Right? And then to benefit from the things that we fought for. See, that's how white supremacy works. That's the dirty little, sleight of hand trick. We get out there to fight for what we think is going to benefit us, but it goes to everyone else. Remember, affirmative action always also included white women. Now, how white women were some kind of oppressed people, I have no clue. But that's the trick bag they always put black people in. That they're supposed to give some benefit for us. Instead, it goes to LGBTQ, goes to Asian, these Indians, and never leaves us with anything. And then these other groups found themselves hostile against us, saying we're getting benefits from affirmative action when all the affirmative action benefits went to them. We got absolutely nothing from affirmative action, family. And sadly enough, it's gone. We're going to realize there's always been a war against blackness here. And like I said, a few months, if I get everything built, I'm going to show you some things that I'm building. We're going to have to start building some shit. And I told you, America's just too hard for me to build here because everything's going to be sabotaged. You have these other morons talking about hate African people and hate Africa. I've already told you that's the easiest place to build wealth at. I've tried to tell you that, but I'm going to show you. Even though these other two decided to become more citizens on me and shit, this destroyed everything with that shit. How group economics works. In a couple more months, I'll be able to show you it come to fruition. But I'll show you what I've been building in Africa. With a small investment without being sabotaged. I believe you build wherever you can find yourself. But black people are going to start building something that's going to protect them for what's coming down the pipe. We'll be in what we call soft genocide, man. Soft genocide. Okay? You've been squeezed out of every market. And since white people are now dying off, they have no obligation, no inkling to pretend as if everything is equal with you. They're going to try to facilitate and encapsulate white supremacy for the next 100 years. Facilitate and then encapsulate white supremacist dominance within a dominant as a minority like the white people do in South Africa. They're where you find them at. And they're unapologetic about it. They're going to make all kind of idiotic nonsense term as reverse racism. That does not exist. How can you have anything called reverse racism when you don't control the courts? You don't control the legislators, huh? That pass legislation affecting your daily life. You don't control none of those things. They do. And since they know their numbers are dwindling, they're trying to put in law. Take generations for you to overturn these laws and try to right the shit right. They don't believe in fair play with you. They'll moan, oh, things are bad. But who did this? Why did the Supreme Court do this? And of course, one of the most heinous, wicked bastards on this is Clarence Thomas, who affirmative action actually helped him. But since he's such a bootlicking tool, he's been voting everything anti-black for the last 30 years. They picked his ass and put him in there. Got a damn fly or something. What the hell was that? Some kind of fly or something. Some kind of goddamn fly or something up in there. Tell you, boy, Florida, boy, and these flies are bugs. You showing your cameras and shit crazy. But anyway, you know, it's been what was I talking about? Yeah, Clarence Thomas, right? So you got Clarence Thomas. He's been voting everything anti-black for the last 30 years. That's why they put him in there. You know, he got his, and that's the sad fact we've had within black America. They'll pick up their tool, put them in power, and they'll do everything to make sure they keep black people in a state of arrested development the time they're in whatever position they occupy. Whether it be a judgeship, whether it be a mayor's, or whatever little power that they attain by sucking dick of white people. You know, sucking the ass of white power. You know, what I should call it. And they've been, and Clarence Thomas been unapologetic about it. Yeah, shit. Like some kind of fly or something. They were like landed on my damn head. You guys can't see the camera, like some kind of fly landed on my damn head. Like, what the hell? Like, what the hell's going on here? What the hell? But let me listen to this right here. Hold on, give me a second. Let me switch to this real quick.
The Supreme Court has just issued a pair of opinions in closely watched cases involving affirmative action in college admissions at the University of North Carolina as well as Harvard University, and has struck down those policies as unconstitutional. I want to turn to Laura Jarrett, our senior legal correspondent. And Laura, you and I are both doing a version of speed read here on a very complex pair of cases, but it does seem to me very clear that these affirmative action programs by these two universities have been struck down. Many people thought, Laura, the court would outright overrule prior decisions that allow for affirmative action in certain conditions, and it's unclear to me that this opinion goes that far. How do you see it?
That's exactly right. We have a major decision here as it relates to race and education in this country. And as you said, for decades, the court has said that you can look at race as a limited plus factor, a tip, as if you will, not in a checking the box exercise. And here, in this case, a divided court has said the programs at Harvard and the University of North Carolina are invalid. Now, those are important because those are ones that many schools base their programs on. And so the upshot here for schools as they try to sort their way through what is a deeply divided court, an opinion spanning over 200 pages here, is to try to sort through what exactly is left. It's clear that if a student feels that race has impacted their life in a deep and meaningful individualistic way, they could write an essay about that. And the court for a long time has said that schools can use diversity, the educational benefits of diversity, as a legitimate goal. And it does not appear, at least so far, that the court is taking that away. But to the extent that Harvard and the University of North Carolina and other schools have been going about it in a way that is not as narrowly tailored as this court believes that it should be, those programs will no longer be invalid. But I have to say, again, it is a complicated opinion. It's going to take a while, I think, for the colleges and universities around the country to figure out what exactly is left, if anything, of their programs, and how exactly they're going to have to try to now sort through
really nothing's left. So what they're trying to do is make sure that black people have another harder time in getting in school. But black people, you were supposed to have excellence with your HBCUs. You're supposed to build your own institutions, black people. See, for so many years, we've been given a false dichotomy that racism is over. Racism doesn't exist. Everybody's all equal. And never in this society that we have found ourselves in was ever been fair, just, or equal. So we got caught slipping. We're supposed to be making our institutions a place of excellence, and we have not. If we were making our own institutions a place of excellence, black children wouldn't have a problem going to HBCUs. And if even white people want to, they say it's discrimination if you don't let them in there, right? And we don't let them in there. Historically black colleges and universities, and we don't allow them to come and dominate our colleges. There's a problem with that as well. So understand, at the end of the day, this is warfare, family. There's warfare being practiced on us, and it was mostly these Asians that felt slighted that we were using race as I don't think it was even a beneficial factor, but as a little bit of a factor, saying, okay, we're discriminated against within the society, so we face different challenges than any other racial group in this country. Sadly enough, these are just the facts. We face different racial circumstances than anybody in this country. And to pretend that we don't, as most of these right-wing wackos will tell you, it's all an illusion made up, they tell you, it's all in our minds. It's all in our minds. The racism is all in our minds. It's all over. That's the nonsense they want to say, because they want to practice their wicked-ass racism without any abandonment. They want to just be abandoned to it. Like, it's legal now. It's legal. You can't do nothing about it. Stand that? You can't do nothing about it. It's legal now. It's legal now. So, this is where they want to go.
What they can do to comply with the law going forward. But what is clear here is that the headline is those colleges and universities programs are invalid. This is a sea change. This is the first time we have seen anything like this.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a scathing opinion. I mean, it talks about Harvard and UNC's admissions programs lacking sufficiently focused and measurable objectives, unavoidably employing race in a negative manner, involving racial stereotyping, lacking a meaningful endpoint. So while we did not see that form of words, Laura, that this prior decision upholding affirmative action programs, Grutter v. Bollinger, we didn't say that is outright overruled. To your point, what is left? So if these admissions programs, which
that wouldn't surprise me that he was attorney for Monsanto with his wicked ass,
if they don't pass muster, you are left to wonder what will.
Exactly. Harvard was
that wouldn't surprise me,
standard dating back to 1978. It was propped up as the program that actually got it right. The idea that it was taking the whole picture into account, that race, again, was just one factor in a larger, non-formulaic, holistic approach. That's what the schools always said. We're flexible. It's not a just check the box for one race and you get in. But again, it appears on this record that these conservative justices have disagreed with that. And, many had wondered why they took this case in the first place, if they weren't going to sort of
when we're talking about conservatives, they mean conserving their white power. Understand what that means. When they say conserve something, what are they conserving? Conserving their white racist power. To have control of the country and all the benefits that come with that. They're conserving their white privilege, their white power. That nobody misleads you. That's what conservative is, you. That's what conservative is.
Absolutely. It does seem that really got in the craw of many of the justices during. They asked these universities.
How bad my internet is, y'all.
Even Grutter, the court case that upheld the use of race-conscious admissions under. Imagined that it would end. Even said in 25 years. More. And when the universities were asked, okay, so how do you see this end? really not satisfied with the responses there, and that was one of the
bad, my damn
programs failed in the court's views. They also, continue to read. Many universities have for too long wrongly concluded that the type of individual's identity is not challenges bested, skills built, or but the color of their skin. This nation's constitutional history tolerate that choice. This is Chief Justice John Roberts writing the at 3 with Justices Sotomayor, Kagan, and Judge Jackson in dissent.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, it's interesting the backdrop that the conservatives on this court have made things about what is more colloquially known as affirmative action.
My internet checked out. They want to say they had the corruption era back in the day. Exactly right. Exactly right.
Argument.
Correct.
Even Justice Jackson pointed out how.
All right, let me see if this works a little better. Now, hopefully this thing can catch up. Drop what link? I did drop. Now let me see if you guys can get this to catch up. Let me know if my thing stops. The thing stops messing up because I wanna. My internet just so jacked up. Let me know. Hold on. Let me know if my internet's catching up with this. My internet's jacked up, man. Man, my internet is jacked up. That's why I wasn't gonna go live the rest of the night. My internet's so damn slow and bad. I don't even get it. But I wanted to get through this right here. Enough video maintain smooth streaming. Yeah, no shit. See enough video to maintain smooth. I know. Let me see if this catch up with this. Hear anything at all? Shit. See if this catch up with this. All right. Anything at all? All right, I'm back. Shit. Yeah. This ain't doing. Let me see if this catch up with this. All right. Okay. All right. Seems like I'm back. She's crazy. All right, so I want to go through this right here. My internet's just gonna be jacked up tonight, family. I'm not gonna put on live. It's just jacked up tonight. Now, I want to make this incredibly understand that how the civil rights movement helped everybody more than did black people, because everybody else was still pretty messed up with this racist ass country. Okay, but us fighting for these benefits affected other people more than it did us. Okay, you hear me now? That's what's up. It's crazy. More than it did us. So I want to make sure everybody understand this. So let me go on and read this article. It says the Civil Rights Act helped Asian Americans. Of course it did. Of course it did. And none of this help was ever reciprocated back to black people. The dominant society teamed up with the Asians to destroy our communities, destroy the businesses in it, and they peaceably, piece by piece, gave those businesses in our community to the Asian or East Indian population. They did that. Don't ever let them gaslight you. Say, oh, they just qualified for the loans when they were all immigrants. They didn't qualify for shit. This has been a step-by-step plot to slowly genocide black people. And you got to understand this. You got to understand this. You can't be a child anymore. You got to understand this. They willfully put these people, businesses in our community. They didn't take them in the white community. Why you don't see no Asian businesses in the white community? Because you know this was the scam to begin with. This is what they were trying to do to begin with. So let nobody gaslight you and talk about, oh, you talk about, don't let them get you with that conspiracy theory nonsense. Because 1 and 1 is 2. 2 and 2 is 4. Okay? 1 and 1 is 2. 2 and 2 is 4. Don't let them hit you with that conspiracy theory nonsense. Because all the time they say conspiracy theories always turns out to be conspiracy facts. Over and over again. That's what we see. So, you got the Civil Rights Act help Asian Americans too. Of course it is. So, but you don't see no Asian Americans right there doing this signing, do you? They had Asian Americans in this country at that time. Where they at? They never went on the front line with us. You don't see them nowhere in this picture. Nowhere. But the benefits of this movement, they have got much more than black people, East Indians, and all other kind of people. From your Hispanics, your Asians, your East Indians, they've all benefited from the civil rights movement. More so than black people, and didn't get out their ass one iota to help implement shit. You understand that? Didn't get out their ass to help implement any of it. But to stand back and reap the benefits of the programs that black people fought for. And with the white government facilitating them to have control, economic control within black communities. Not you, not me, them. Let alone you couldn't even get a house in certain communities, but you damn sure were not getting a business loan to even operate in your own said community. But the East Indian, the Asian, the Arab, they all were. They always getting qualified for these loans, and they was fucking immigrants coming in here, so they had no credit. So don't let them hit you with that fake credit shit. Don't let them hit you with that credit nonsense. This is to make sure that white people kept them as a buffer class and told you white people observe their life of how fucked up and impoverished black people are. They get a joy. I know a lot of you Negroes can understand. They get a joy in seeing us all fucked up. They get a simple joy, a perverted joy in it. Wait a second. Hit that damn net. So they get a perverted joy in it, right? They get a perverted joy in it. So let me go and read this thing. But like I said, you see no Asians. Where the Asians? Where the East Indians at? Where the Asians? Where they at? Where they at? We're on the front line helping us with this battle. Where they at? But they sure reaped the benefits from it, didn't they? They sure reaped the benefits. So let me go ahead and read this. So it says, on the 15th anniversary of the 1964 Civil Rights Act, let's remember that it protected not just African Americans. The legislation enacted by Congress on July 2nd of the year broadly outlawed discrimination on the basis of race, color, and national origin. Right? Put my damn mic on. I got to move my mic a little bit so I can read this thing here. Without having everything moved all crazy. Give me a second. Maneuver this mic around. Okay. That's a little better. Okay. So, this was altogether fitting and proper for racial prejudice extended beyond the brutality of slavery and Jim Crow that African Americans experienced. Asian Americans, for instance, have also suffered. Oh, did they? They sure didn't fight. Where was the fight they put? Since they suffered, where was the fight? There was no Asians in the street with us. There was no Asians getting hit in the head with rocks and clubs and dogs biting Asians' balls and dicks off. Where was that footage at? And water hoses being thrown on their ass. Where was that? Where were these Asians having water hoses thrown on them? Dogs biting into the groin, being smashed in the head with billy clubs. Where was this at? I missed that footage. Maybe you guys have seen it. Send it to me at blackoutfirenetwork.com. Send it to me. I'd like to see it. So, in the late 19th century, Chinese Americans in California and elsewhere in the West faced discrimination in the workplace and the schools and the housing market, and they often had to fend off racist attacks. Japanese and Filipino immigrants endured similar maltreatment upon their arrival. And during World War II, President Roosevelt incarcerated over 120,000 Japanese Americans in internment camps, although they posed no national security threat. Shortly after 9/11, South Asian Americans, Arab Americans, and Muslim Americans became fused together as public enemy number one and faced unprecedented levels of deportation and surveillance, as well as discrimination and violence in the workplace, schools, and even their own homes. Today, and ain't it funny? Since they had so much racism, they still was never treated as bad as black people, and they're still not treated as bad as black people today. Since they supposedly suffered so much, even with all that they're saying in this article, there's nobody in this group of people that have suffered as long, as in depth, as bad as black people. None of them. So to try to make a comparison with their struggle with ours is absolutely idiotic, because you didn't see them create a mass protest against it. There's no mass protest of Arabs trying to fight back their discrimination. There's no mass protest in the streets of Asian people trying to fight back their supposed discrimination. There's no mass protest of none of these people to fight white supremacy. If anything, they were comfortable in joining it as long as they were above black people. As long as they were not on the bottom, they were happy. As long as they wasn't the one on the bottom getting kicked in the head, getting a boot in the face, they were happy. So there was no benefit for them fighting in the streets. You never seen them do it. You never seen them organized to do no fighting in those streets. So let me get back to where I was at. Today, Asian Americans with a population of more than 18 million still face stereotypes and are under suspicion as national security risks. Where's that at? That's a lie. Where's it at? Okay. You know it's a lie, family? You know it's a lie? I told you guys yesterday in yesterday's show. Remember when we said they were passing all these anti-Asian hate bills? Stop the Asian hate, Asian hate, Asian hate. Now, what's comparable, when black people try to say, even though Black Lives Matter is a fraud, I said it from the inception, it's baloney, it's made up by white people, but it still triggered white people in some way to have people say Black Lives Matter. Without the organization, just that Black Lives Matter. All lives matter, all lives, how dare you, all lives. But like I said, you don't hear none of these white people say stop all hate. When they were talking about say stop Asian hate, none of them jumped out the window and said stop all hate. You didn't hear no white people say that. When they were talking about stop the Asian hate, stop Asian hate, stop Asian hate. No white people said stop all hate. You didn't see the pushback. of them saying stop all hate. And if you guys got a story, I like to hear it. Caller number is 850-368-9102. You know, don't be afraid to call. I like to hear it. If that's the case, they said stop all Asian hate. Stop the Asian hate. All these politicians, all these fake white people, stop the Asian hate. Stop Asian hate. Black people, you're fighting Asian hate and passing bills. Why did nobody white say stop all hate? As comparative as what they said with black people and Black Lives Matter. Oh, your lives don't matter. White people lives matter. All lives matter. All lives matter. But you didn't hear him say stop all the hate. When they had the same kind of scenario with the Asian hate shit. Stop the Asian hate. Stop Asian hate. Stop Asian hate. But you never heard anybody say stop all hate. What were these white people running around talking about stop all hate? Stop all hate. Because at the end of the day, family, this country is built on anti-black behavior. Everything's anti-black. That's in your face. That is a clinical study right there I just given you. That's a clinical study. Because concerning us, it's all lives matter. They didn't want to say Black Lives Matter. All lives matter. Fuck you niggas. All lives. But the Asians, not once did you see them get up in arms and say stop all hate. Not once. Not once. Not once. But let me continue. But my internet goes off. I can stand it too long. My internet probably go off soon anyway. So it says, I think I'm right here. What? Okay. And the doors aren't as open as they used to be, or whatever. I don't know. In the 1960s, Asian Americans made huge strides in admissions to the University of California, for instance. That's what we're talking about. These college admissions. After they were included in affirmative action plans. Isn't that funny? So the Asians got into college, which they openly destroyed now. In the beginning, they got in the college, family. I want you to understand this. That's why I told you, you got no friends. They piggyback on the things that we fought for, that we built, that we bled and got busted in the head in the streets. Got water hosed, right? So they were included in affirmative action plans. While many Asian Americans can now attend college without the help of affirmative action programs, others cannot. For many African American, Latinos, and Southeast Asian students, including Cambodians, Filipinos, Vietnamese, Hmong, whatever the hell that is, Laotian, I don't know what a Hmong is, Laotian, the hope of going to college is more distant than ever. Ain't that funny? So these other Asian groups, it's more distant than ever. So what you had to do was shoot your own self in your own foot, right? That's what you did. So you end up shooting yourself in your own goddamn foot. These other Asian groups that are not as salable of going to school like you. But I want you to know, see, we fought for everybody. As black people in America, there's nobody like us. I want you to understand that. There's no African like us. We're the only group of Africans that have always fought and fought for everybody. That's what makes us special. We've done the fighting in this country for other people. Like I said, no one else was getting knocked in the goddamn head, right? No one else was getting dogs attacked to them, biting their damn balls and dicks off. Whereas were the Asians out there fighting with us? No, but they did benefit from affirmative action. And now you find them out in the streets, it's like my thumbnail, saying stop affirmative action for these niggas. These black people are getting special privileges. Are you insane? We just read right here that these people of our fight, right here, they were included in affirmative action plans, while many Asian Americans can now attend college. They were included in the fights that we did. Now, either it is or it isn't true. Either it is or it isn't true. Huh? But I told you, family, as black people globally, you understand you got no friends. There's no Asian and black get down. There's no black and brown get down. It does not exist. These people will stab you in the back at every chance they get. And that's what they've shown you. They've shown you, they've turned around and shown us their ass. You understand that? While we fought to get their ass in the school. And nothing's been reciprocated because black people, I told you the same people globally. You love everybody except your own people. You love everybody but your own people. You'll fight and die for everybody else. To spit in your damn face. Spit in your food. Talk to you crazy. That's what you'll do. And so you've seen this behavior time and time and time again. So you help them and they turn around and stab us in the back. Ain't that funny? And then they put all these foreigners, businesses in our community. And I told that's on purpose. That's why you got Asians with, how the hell Asians know about black women's hair, huh? How'd that happen? You think that was a normal thing that they just, these Asian people just woke up one day and knew how to do black women's hair care, nails? That was purposely given to them by the U.S. government to make sure black people stayed on the bottom. They were given loans that you could not get. Can't say they had no credit because they were all coming from impoverished, fucked up Asian countries back then that were all impoverished. China was impoverished. Laos was impoverished. Vietnam was impoverished. Cambodia was impoverished. Thailand was impoverished. All these Asian countries back in the 60s were all impoverished. So how does people from impoverished countries get loans to build businesses in your neighborhood? Huh? If that wasn't a scam to begin with. How do a group of impoverished people, more impoverished than you, get business loans to build business? They never built them in the white community. You'll see none of these Asians, these Indians, and no white community with no businesses. Never. See, they worked in tandem to make sure they would suck all that money out the black community. See, this is on purpose. This is called a soft genocide, man. That's what this is called, soft genocide. Know what you're looking at. And so, us helping all these other people. Oh, I see Joby. Joby must be up early. Wow, Joby's up early. What's going on, Joby? I hope you're doing good, young lady. You up early, aren't you? So, let me go and read this thing here. So it says, the job market is also biased. What? Job market is biased? No, not in this great American civil, not in this great American country. How can the job market be biased? And white people tell me racism is over. That's what they told me. Good white people tell me the racism is over. And I'm crazy. The good white people told me that racism is over. It must be a conspiracy theory. It must be some kind of bad conspiracy theory I'm living through. What is going on? It must be a conspiracy theory I'm living through. I feel that I would believe that racism still exists. I must be some kind of crazy bastard. I must be out of my mind. So it goes on to say the job market is also biased. Once hired, Asian Americans often bumped up against the glass ceiling. Promotions, glass ceilings and promotions. Nationally, Asian Americans have greater education attainment, including graduate and professional degrees, but lower per capita income and fewer managerial jobs than whites with the same education. That's a lie. Because I've been told that the Asians now have the highest salaries in this country. That's what I've been told. I'm not talking about the East Indian Asian. I'm talking about the Chinese and Japanese Asian. Heard they're the ones making all the highest paid people here. So that's a lie. But lower per capita income, I did that, education. Asian Americans are often stereotyped as hard workers, but not leadership material for aggressive enough to be managers and entrepreneurs. Communities of color have borne the brunt of racial inequality. So, see, who are these people of color they talk about? Asian people do not consider themselves people of color. Chinese, Japanese. See, that's when they try to throw us all in a trick bag, family, by talking this colorism shit. These people do not see themselves as colored people. You see the Chinese person, they look colored to you? They're whiter than white people. They don't even believe in being in the sun. You see the average Asian Chinese person, they white as shit. What people of color? What are you talking about? What people of color is this? But they trying to lump them in with you so they'll get your benefits when they do not even identify. We know that the Hispanic do not identify as people of color. You got some dark Hispanics, and on their driver license and in their documents it'll say Caucasian. That's how delusional and how white supremacy has captured the mind of the planet. That's how white supremacy works. Don't ever tell me white supremacy is not sophisticated. That's how it works. You have a little mestizo running around here. You look at his driver's license, it'll say Caucasian. You say, what? Bruh, there's no way you believe you're Caucasian. I'm a Caucasian. You're Caucasian. You might be half Asian, but you're not the cock. You half Asian, but you're not Caucasian. You might be half Asian because you're Mongoloid. Yeah, but there's no white in you. And that's how meticulous, how insidious white supremacy works. Because all the documents that say white, don't say any kind of brown. Any kind of brown. We're brown. None of the documents say brown. Oh, I'm good, Joby. I'm good. I'm good. So, let me see where I'm at. So it says, let's say, communities of color have borne the brunt of racial inequalities meted out by our immigration system. The notorious Chinese Exclusion Act is gone, but the Migration Reform and Control Act bars migrants from working without authorization. That's all a lie. They flooding our borders with these illegal immigrants, so that's a lie. And you got Chinese goddamn men, military age men spewing across the southern border right now. It ain't a goddamn thing being done by this wicked ass, fake ass Democratic Party that you Negroes have voted for the last 60 years. You can't tell me nothing beneficial for voting for this debaucherous ass party. And this act right here that I'm reading, this is the act that Lyndon Baines Johnson said. These are his words, not mine. And I'm paraphrasing his quote. I will have these niggers, that's what the president called us, niggers. I will have these niggers voting Democratic for the next 100 years. He's halfway right, because it's been 60 years we've been voting for a party that's done nothing but have open contempt and disdain for us as a people. While they willingly giving everybody else loans, business loans, to set up in our community, they've done nothing but spit in your face and lock your black ass up. That's what they giving black people. Police brutality and then locking your ass up. That's what they gave us. Cities like Mad Max, the destruction of the black family, black woman's all out of control. She's off the reservation. Our cities and our communities look like a scene out of Mad Max. The black community looks like a scene out of Mad Max. Grown-ass men, feminine, run out of control, can't control themselves. Our communities have been destroyed. And understand, that's been a vested effort. Don't think that happened by osmosis and we just a bad luck accident. This has been the plan. This has been the plan. That's why I told you by 2050, black people, you don't get this shit together, you will be nothing. You have, excuse me, you have no wealth at all. Everybody smash that like button. We got 1,000 people up in here. Where's everybody at? We got 1,000 people in the chat room. Smash that like button, damn it. So, can't believe last couple shows we had 1,000. That blew my mind. This is like the old days. Like the old days around here. They gonna stop. They gonna stop this soon. Like the old days around here. But anyway, so where am I at? So, say today there are 1 million undocumented Asian Americans who cannot legally work. 250,000 of the 2 million individuals deported since 2008 were immigrants of Asian descent. Now you know this is a lie. Because the Asians have built up their own separate economy. You got Chinatowns all over America. You got Chinatown in Nairobi, Kenya now. Is that funny? You got Chinatowns all over the goddamn United States where they work illegally with their families. So the idea they don't have a job is a lie. They have a whole community of Chinatowns all around the United States. All around the United States you got Chinatowns. Anybody outlaw that? Any kind of town that black people built, it was bombed and destroyed. You understand that? Every time black people tried to build their own separate town and community and it was successful, who came and blew it up, killed black people, destroyed it, and nobody ever went to prison for these heinous crimes. No one. Mad Max is right. That's Mad Max. Man, like I told you guys. I was in Memphis. I was going through the neighborhood. I used to date this chick years ago. I wanted to try to go look her up. And I remember where her sister lived at. I shouldn't be telling this story. And so I drove, and her sister still lived in this place. Right? And I hate to sound petty, man. I hate to sound petty, right? And so, I hate to sound petty. Smash that like button. Exactly. Smash, smash, smash. So, I hate to sound petty, but, you know, she got rid of me before I could get rid of her. I didn't like that. So, I said, let me go see if I can find this brother. I mean, I'm going through Memphis. Let me see. Let me bring him some. Oh, and it's been years. That was like 20 years. I ain't seen this chick, right? Longer than that. So, I just wanted to go see. So, went by her sister's house. Sister lived in the same place. And she said she lived in this part of town, right? And she gave me the address. And I went in there, man. If this was Mad Max on steroids, and I know, it's like, what part of Memphis was this? West? Whatever, I ain't know part. I just, Googled it, went to it. And let me tell you, I'm not too scared of many things. I swear to God, this was some scary shit. I said, what? Like open drug use, people carry. It's like we have been destroyed as a people. We've been destroyed to live in this kind of dangerous situation. Because the sister gave me the answer. Oh, I won't be seeing this broad. I won't be reminiscing with this chick. Life ain't been good for her ass. That's what you get. That's what you get for getting rid of me. That's what you get. This is where you end up at when you got rid of my ass. This is where you end up at. And the book of Eli, exactly right there. That was some book of Eli shit there, man. I mean, people like getting shot and open drug. People openly doing drugs, and I thought about going to McDonald's. I said, I might get shot. I might get shot. Trying to get a Big Mac around this bitch. I gotta get out of here. It's dangerous. And And a friend of mine told a friend of mine, he laughed. He said, man, you ain't been in the hood keeping a long time. I said, I know, man. That shit's disturbing. I said, I know I ain't been in the hood in a long time. That's some scary shit. That's some disturbing ass shit. And I used to always go up LA, but that was, I'm too old to be fighting a motherfucker now. I'm too old to be getting out shooting somebody. Shit. Getting stabbed, but it's a sad situation. So the Carters in the Nehack cities, and it was sad because it was a microcosm of the macrocosm, family. All black America looks like that. There's a microcosm in New Jack City. I know what you're talking about. I know you're talking about the Carter. I know what you're talking about, David. The Carter, New Jack City. It is a, it's a really sad experience, and to know that most black communities, how do you make it out of there? What hope? They've given black people no hope now, family. And that was 4 years ago. I said, that's been 4 years ago. I'm talking to a friend of mine. Remember, I said, man, that's 4 years ago. Shit. Yeah. He's an eye opener, wasn't it? I said, man, that was some scary ass shit. I'm not going to try to front. That was some scary ass shit. And I was in the car, man, you walking through that shit, man. You got to worry about getting stabbed, shot, robbed. Crazy. I said, no, I won't be checking out Shorty reminiscing. I'm out of here. Fuck around and get carjacked around this bitch. Throw me out my car, hit me in the back of the head. I said, let me get my ass out of here. I'm like, David, I gotta go. But see, that's the situation. We live in hope. We live in despair, family. That's the majority of black neighborhoods in America. It's a scene out of Mad Max. It's a scene right out of Mad Max. There's no hope. There's all despair. How do you grow up in these areas and be able to make it out of there? There's no hope there. It's all despair. I said, there's no hope in this goddamn place. It's all despair. There's no hope. This shit is all despair. It's crazy. So, let me finish this. Crazy. So, goes on to say, let me just start here again. Our civil rights protections provide no remedy for discriminatory migration laws. We must modernize our civil rights protections to prevent racial discrimination on immigration systems. 50 years after the civil rights, and this is an old article. This 50 years, this 6 years. This article is probably 10 years ago. 50 years after the Civil Rights Act, Asian Americans, like other minorities, have much to celebrate, but not yet true equal justice under the law. All Americans of goodwill should keep striving for the goal. So, I just wanted to prove something, that how these Asians who are out here clapping and happy that they destroyed the one thing that black people fought for their ass as well. Like I told you, none of these people, we go back to this picture right here. None of these people you'll see no Asians there. You see blacks and whites. And the white people didn't want to give a shit. This was just to humor us, from all the fighting, from all the bats in the head, and dogs biting our damn penis and ball sacks out. Dogs biting in the women's breasts out there. Black women getting their breasts bit off by dogs. Fire hoses being put on our ass. There was no Asians out there with us. There was no Asians out there fighting this fight with us. There was no Hispanics out there fighting this fight with us. There was no East Indians out there fighting this fight with us. As black women were getting their breasts torn off by dogs, there was nobody fighting with us. It was us. I would play a video, but you guys know my videos are all messed up. My internet's all messed up tonight. My internet's all jacked up. Excuse me, y'all. There's nobody back, but let me see if I can do this. Let me give me a second, guys. You guys give me 1 second. Nobody fighting with us. The mic can't show. Let me see if I can show this at least. Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second. Let me see if I can put this one off. Let me see if I can do this one real quick. Now, just to show this coon, how we always got Negroes. I don't know if it's gonna play or not, y'all. You know my internet's jacked up. Let's see if we can play this or not. Let me see here. And you know you got Clarence Thomas, one of the main boom coons you got, right? Let me see. Now I'm gonna try to play this. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. I'm gonna give it a try, guys. I don't know if it's gonna work or not, but you got one of the main boom coons right here, Clarence Thomas, who affirmative action helped. I told you they always pick their Negroes. They know who they pick. Instead of reaching down and giving somebody else a hand up, he's gonna cut the left. Instead of reaching down and giving you a hand up or a ladder down, he's gonna cut the ladder off so you can't get where he's at. They always pick the same bootlicking, handkerchief head house Negro scum. That's what they do. So here he goes.
We're going to talk to a few key people about this. Andrew Brennan, a 2019 UNC Chapel Hill grad who's heading to Columbia Law School this fall. Perhaps
now, how long this is going to last, y'all? You know my
son of 2 attorneys. And he told CNN last year that his parents taught him how affirmative action helped black families prosper. Brennan also testified in a lower court hearing on this case and then attended the Supreme Court's oral arguments. Kyra Abrams graduated from UC Berkeley last spring, the first in her family to finish college. In California, race-conscious admissions have been banned at public universities for more than 2 decades. She told the New York Times about what she faced at Berkeley. Quote, black students, she said, refer to themselves as the 1.9%, their share of the student population, down from
1.9. It's been banned for 20 years in California. I ain't even know it. That's my home state. It's been banned in California for 20 years. And they're only 1% of the student admissions at Berkeley. 1%. 1% at the University of Berkeley. Black people represented in the student body by at 1%. 1%. Oh, but there's no such thing as racism, right? There's no such thing as racism. It's all my imagination. Black people just don't work hard enough. You lazy niggas.
Digits. Just a year before the ban, you feel isolated, she said. Also with us, Janice Jackson, the former Chicago Public Schools chief. She is now the CEO of Hope Chicago, which pays for college for thousands of Chicago area students and their parents. In its first year, Hope Chicago says college enrollment for students at the schools they work with jumped 30%. Here's what she told 60 Minutes.
We have to catch up. That's the bottom line. And I may be biased, but I do believe education is the single most powerful way to disrupt generational poverty.
It is.
Former President Obama.
It is, but it depends on what you're being educated to do. Now, a lot of these educations that we're getting in college are really worthless. It is. Keeping people ignorant is how you keep them dominated. How you keep them confused. Ignorance has always been the best. That's why they want us reading in slavery. You dominate ignorant people. So it's always in your benefit to keep your oppressed people ignorant, stupid, unlearned. That's in your benefit to dominate them. You don't want an educated populace, because educated populace will always rise up and fight for equality and justice and what they demand and what they feel they're owed. And that's why, family, when we were stepping apart, our schools were black excellence. That's what they don't ever tell you. Must they starve us for resources from the primary school to the college education? These were black places of excellence because as a family unit, the black man, the black woman were together. We were not destroyed. We knew our roles. We knew our places. We were not a destroyed people then. You understand that? We will not destroy people in the early 20s and 30s, 40s. Go back and look at just at some old movies and look at the behavior of black people and the way they relate to each other, black women, black men. It was respectful. It was honorable. It was loving. It was caring. That was dangerous. So they implemented a plot to destroy that. You need to know that. And the black woman was teaching these black children who she felt a sense of pride and a sense of actual wellness because that was her. She felt these children, she was responsible for them because they were hers. They were black. So it was a sense of pride and raising them up with a good educational foundation. So even though we were separate, we were starting to dominate educationally. See, that's another fact that they won't tell you. We were starting to dominate educationally. See, remember they told you about the hidden history shit, the hidden what was that thing called with the black scientist ladies, the hidden science ladies of NASA? Every one of them black women went to a black school as kids because nothing was integrated back then. They got their jobs in NASA in the 60s where it was still segregated for them. But they grew up in black society, black education that was excellent. That's a threat to white power. You need to know that. That was a threat to white power. That black woman educating black children was a threat. And she was doing it so good that now they were passing white power. These children were so far advanced because they were separate and they were taught with love, understanding, respect. And now we were given this fake integration where now you're going up in white schools, they can't stand your ass, they don't like you. You got a prisoner pipeline system going on because there's no benefit in teaching you to overthrow their ass. You understand that? That's why your whole system is deranged now. Why we got Mad Max out here happening. It was never in their benefit to educate their slaves to overthrow their rule. And when we were separate and apart, we were always rising. They would tell you about the Tulsas and the Durhams and the Rosewoods. Much more than that. Every black society, every black town was a success by itself. So many throughout the Midwest, Texas, everywhere, California was a success that they don't teach about. When we were left alone, we always prosper. We always rise. We were not a deranged people. Left alone, left to thrive on our own. Our children were well behaved, well educated. That's a threat. Now they're out here can't even read on a 4th grade level, on a 3rd grade level. Because it's now implemented by them. You understand that? It's not an accident. You go back 60, 70 years ago, you got black students that can read on a goddamn college level as teenagers in primary school individuals. Now you got 4-year-old 4th graders that can't even read on that level at all. What happened between then and now? What happened?
Yesterday highlighted Hope Chicago's work in his statement after the Supreme Court ruling. Andrew, Kyra, and Janice all join me now. Good morning, and thank you all. Andrew, let me begin with you. What is striking and I think important is the way that you discuss affirmative action, the role it has had in your life. And you don't shy away from the fact that you have even said, you know, I may not have been at Columbia Law School but for this, but here's why it is so important. Can you speak to the decision, Andrew?
Absolutely. You know, yesterday's decision was disappointing. When I first came to UNC Chapel Hill, I was one of 11% of the campus that was African American in a state of North Carolina that was 22% African American. I had grown up in the South my entire life, but it wasn't until being on campus at UNC that I had witnessed my first Confederate rally. Mm-hmm. And so it was in that context that this lawsuit was brought, and it's what.
Now he experienced a Confederate rally in 2020, whatever, 2021, wherever this within the last 3 years. So we'll say between 2021 and 2023 on UNC campus, family. A Confederate rally. Openly racist in your goddamn face. openly racist. A Confederate rally. But then things have changed. Things are different. Things have changed. You niggas are crazy. Because you see us being racist, don't believe we're being racist. When we show you openly to your face that we're being racist, that's your imagination, nigga. That's your imagination. Get yourself together. Understand, it's a thing about our heritage, not about racism. It's our heritage. That's what they'll tell you.
So many students of color like myself sought to intervene in the lawsuit so that our perspectives could be included in the record.
Kyrie, can you speak to your experience at Berkeley? I read a little bit of what you told the New York Times about, being called the 1.9%, but also people there questioning if you should be there or if it's was just because of your race, which is, not based on facts, given race-conscious admissions have been banned.
Black people, you're the smartest people on the planet. They keep asking, should you be there? They got to raise you in poverty and degradation and confusion so you don't never rise to your potential. And the funny thing, most of you still do. They got to keep you. As children, we're the fastest developed. We're the fastest with everything. You're the smartest people on the planet. But you must be given an unfair rule because you dominate everything. Not just sports. They make sure they keep everything hard for you to succeed. They say, how dare, are you supposed to even be here? Saying that black people are supposed to be stupid. That's a scam they've been showing forever. They don't want an equal playing field. These colleges to them. So they have legacy programs where they get to go just because their daddy, granddaddy, and great-grandfather went. Those are legacy programs. I get to go because my father went. Now we know back in the day it was only white people going to these colleges. They were the only ones that were allowed in. There were no black people allowed into any of these colleges. So there is no legacy built up for black people, and black people don't have what? Legacy wealth. We have no legacy wealth. So the ideal that black people can even qualify for legacy is absurd. So 40% of these colleges deal with legacy. I get to go just because I'm white because my granddaddy went. That's it. But you're not smart enough. It don't matter whether I'm smart. My granddaddy went here. That's it. My granddaddy went. That's what's up. Called legacy. Why the Supreme Court not getting rid of legacy? Isn't that racial? Isn't that unfair? Why are these white people going against legacy, family? I told you with them, it's never about any equality, any fair. They're dying out as a people. They're trying to now make sure they got complete control of the country and rule it from a minority state like they do in South Africa. You understand this? They want to set the laws up now so they can rule as a minority like they do in South Africa. Because legacy should be wiped out. How's legacy fair? Because your granddaddy went here. So what? Why you get the right to go down? No, because your granddaddy and your daddy and your great-great-granddaddy went here. When at that time, wasn't nobody black allowed to come in there no way. So this legacy should be completely eradicated then. Because when you create the legacy, black people were not allowed to attend those universities because we were black. We were not allowed to attend those universities because we were black. So why should legacy, isn't it funny? And yet none of these Asians go after legacy. I told you, family. They got no vested interest going until they want to be comfortable under white supremacy. Why any of these Asians never talked about legacy? Ain't that funny like I told you? I want you to always understand it's always a war against us as a people. You need to know that we got no friends. That's why we must be united. Did any of these Asians go against the legacy policy of any of these schools? Of course not. Of course they didn't. Did none of them go after the legacy program of the schools? It's just like I told you when they said, stop the Asian hate. Stop the Asian hate. Nobody white said, stop all hate. Same way when they had the fake Black Lives Matter and people said, stop Black Lives Matter. Not the fake movement, but just the fact that Black Lives Matter. All these white people, all lives matter. All lives, fuck you niggas, all lives matter. All lives matter. God damn it. All lives matter. All rabid and shit. White people all rabid with it. All lives matter. How dare you, you dirty nigga, talking about Black Lives Matter. All lives matter. All lives matter. Having a goddamn aneurysm. Having a damn aneurysm about all lives matter. But when they initiate Stop the Asian Hate, no one white said stop all hate. Did they? No one had an aneurysm. No one went crazy. No one said stop all hate. That was never said. Stop all hate. Stop all hate. Not Asian hate. Not just Asian hate. Stop all hate. Stop all hate. That didn't trigger nobody white. It didn't trigger them not one iota. That's why you need to know we got no friends. And as black people, you better get your head out your ass and realize you the only people we got. Now, once anybody said stop all hate, when they were screaming that Asian hate shit in your face, not once. But you say, yeah, black lives do matter. We've been killed. Black lives. Oh, nigga. All lives matter. Damn you. All lives matter. Fuck your life. All lives matter. That's what you got. That's what you got.
On there for more than 2 decades. Do you support what the court did here?
No, absolutely not. It's already very difficult at UC Berkeley and all public schools in California who have been struggling to get the numbers back up since 1996. Mm-hmm. They have to circumvent.
See, it's been overturned since 96, and California is supposedly a liberal state. That's my state. California is supposed to be a liberal state, and they overturned this back in 96. So it's already 20 years in the making. In California, it's already past, it's almost damn near 30 years, 96. For almost 30 years in the making that they overturned that policy in California, a liberal state. And I try to tell you, these liberals are just as racist and wicked as these conservatives. There's no cut card between neither one of these fake ass groups. That's why black people, we cannot identify ourselves as a liberal or conservative. You got morons out here talking about they black conservatives. What the hell is that? Or a black liberal. What is that? That you telling me you're an absolute moron. That's what you're telling me. You're an absolute moron. Because if you talk when you're a black conservative, what are you conservative? White supremacy? That's what conservative means. I'm conserving my white power. Liberalism means you're supporting all kind of wicked ass, debaucherous ass shit like pedophilia and LGBTQ and all other wacky shit, transgender shit. So we fall in none of those categories as black people. We can't be identified in none of that debauchery shit, the left or the right. It doesn't identify with us as a people. So we must become politically mature.
The laws, in a way, like students have to put in so much work. Students are so overworked at UC Berkeley, especially black students, because they have to put in extra recruitment efforts due to Prop 209 being passed, banning affirmative action in 1996. And so it was very difficult to even get black students to attend. And also my first year, UC Berkeley was rated the lowest UC for black students, as in like, it was the worst through a USC study. So that being my first year was a real shock to me, and students were upset, and we had to put in even more work to make students even want to come to UC Berkeley. So it was very difficult, and I do not agree with the ruling at all.
Justice Thomas wrote in his concurring opinion, while I am painfully aware of the social and economic ravages which have befallen my race and all who suffer discrimination.
Oh, he's painfully aware, but he's going to see these bootlicks are always going to give you lip service. These bootlicking handkerchief head house Negroes are always going to give you lip service. Oh, it's painfully clear that my people are fucked up and impoverished. But I still don't care, because I'm married to a white woman, and I'm licking white ass every night. So damn you niggas, I'm licking white ass every night. And my white woman said, you bet not vote for these niggas. Or no old raggedy coochie for you. No old beat up coochie for you, nigga. You can't have no beat up coochie unless you make sure you vote against these niggas. You ain't gotta worry about me, baby. I don't wanna not have no old tiry, raggedy ass coochie. I'm gonna vote the way white people vote me. That's why they got me on here, to make sure I vote against everything black. You know, they call me handkerchief head Clarence. And what they call me in school, handkerchief head Clarence. And ideal this moron was once a Black Panther. Can you imagine that? Clarence Thomas. It's some shameful shit.
I hold out enduring hope that this country will live up to its principles, so clearly enunciated in the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, that all men are created equal, are equal citizens, and must be treated equally before the law. Kyra, he sees this as finally treating Black students equally. And you say?
The Declaration of Independence was written when Black people were slaves, so I wouldn't necessarily take something that was written when, you know, Black people weren't even allowed to have education, and that goes to show how hard Black people have had it versus others, especially in this country, especially African Americans in this country, who have a legacy of being beaten down and having to, like, pull ourselves up by the bootstraps, for lack of better words, to even get to where we are. And so we do need things like affirmative action to level the playing field for us.
And the whole case is centered around the 14th Amendment and what...
That's right. Clinton was president back then. Exactly right,
Steve, the reason I really, I'm so glad you could join us this morning is because you work with the kids. The work that you do at Hope Chicago, I should note, obviously something started by a friend of mine, Pete Cadens. But what you do there is send children to college for free and one of their parents. So I'm interested in what this will mean for them 1 year, 2 years, 10 years down the line.
Yeah. One of the most common questions we get all the time is, hey Dawson, can I see some live
stores? Can you believe this shit?
So right now we're at the warehouse where you're seeing...
Yeah, well, make no mistake, the decision was definitely a setback for students, in particular Black students and Latino students across this country. At Hope...
You always got to throw Latinos. This ain't nothing to do with no Latinos. You always got to see all these fake handkerchief head bras like her. It's about Black people. They always got to do it because she's a tool. Always get the lingo. And Latinos. What the fuck does Latinos got to do with this? And where do they ride with us? They're completely against our ass. That's why they came out last month. Oh, Black people, can you help us? Well, they shit on Black people right, left, and center. But every one of these handkerchief head tools like her got to mention Latinos. They got nothing to do with no Latinos. It's about Black people.
Chicago, we introduced this as a solution to make sure and remove more barriers for Black and Latino students and first-generation students to have access to college. This decision closes yet another door, and as Kyra pointed out in her remarks, you're going to see more and more students having to circumvent different processes, which again is yet another barrier towards the promise of education. I think educators and decision makers across this country are upset by this, but my message to folks is that we really have to get out here and think creatively about how we don't lose the ground that we've made over the past generation. But make no mistake, there are no bright spots in what happened yesterday.
Do you think you can do that? Does this ruling make your job harder getting those kids into the colleges, even with the window that Justice Roberts pointed out, saying you can still write about it in essays, etc. You just can't check a box?
Yeah, let's let's take a step back. Black and Latino first generation students have always
Black and
had to
Latino
be
again.
twice as good and do much more to have equal access. That has been.
When do you ever hear any Latino say Latino and black? Never. She's already bought and paid for a family. See, she's dubious. That's why they brought her ass on here. She's already bought and paid for it. You don't never hear nobody say Latino and black. Latino. You never hear none of these people say Latino and black ever. They never mention us in their conversations. So she's already bought and paid for a tool. You never hear them say Latino and black. It's about Latino and black people. Latino and black. Latino and black. But she keeps emphasizing black and Latino, black and Latino, black and Latino. As if there's some black and brown coalition when there's never been any black and brown coalition, black and brown unity with these folks. Ever. Ever.
A vestige of our public education and higher ed system for centuries in this country. When you continue to put laws in place that make it more difficult, not only is it more difficult for the students and the families, it's much more difficult for the colleges who have made tremendous strides in trying to diversify their student body. This just makes it harder. And you only have to look at California and look at what Prop 209 did. You see a complete reduction in black students, in particular, attending some of the most elite universities in California. We should expect to see the same thing across this country, but I would also challenge people to lift up their voices and do things like what we're doing at Hope Chicago to remove more barriers.
Andrew, final question to you. Your family, I should just a little background for folks here. Your family's upper middle class. Your father was dean at the University of Kentucky Law School. I just bring that up because I think it relates to what Justice Roberts said during oral arguments in this case. He said, let's say his, talking about any student, viewpoints tend to be very close with white applicants, had a great upbringing, comfortable, his parents went to Harvard, he's a legacy, and yet under your system, when he checks African-American
legacy, told you.
That was the...
He's a legacy. But I told you about the legacy program. See, Justice Roberts is a legacy. His daddy and granddaddy went to Harvard. So automatically he gets accepted to Harvard because he's a legacy. Did you hear any of the Asians talk about let's get rid of the legacy program for white people? No, because they know that would have been brought down rage against their ass. And so they go for the low-hanging fruit and let's destroy black people first. Let's destroy their ass. We got no camaraderie with them. We rolled their backs. They got legislation passed for us that benefit the rest of us, but we're not stupid enough to try to go after legacy, which is the most unfair practices ever. Legacy. You get to go because your daddy went here? You're not even qualified. Yeah, but my daddy and my granddaddy went. So what? My granddaddy and my daddy went. I'm a legacy. Why did the Asians go after that? Since they were so worried about people getting to school. Why didn't they go after that? That this bastard right here is a legacy student. He didn't get in on his merits. He got in because his daddy and his granddaddy went there, and those were the connections. That's why he's a U.S. Supreme Court justice, not because of his laurels and his educational mind. He's a legacy. That's how white power works. White privilege works, which they try to tell you that doesn't exist. And when you point it out so easily, oh, they get all upset at you. Oh, no. How dare you dirty niggas talking about white privilege? It doesn't exist. You dirty niggas, stop it.
The question that Justice Roberts raised, what is your reaction to that?
Well, I think, first of all, putting aside the fact... I'm sorry?
Go ahead, Andrew.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Putting aside the fact that Justice Roberts' comments ignore the facts in this case and how UNC actually uses race in the admissions process, I think it speaks to a fundamental fallacy here. You cannot have a race-blind admissions process when our country itself isn't race-blind. So the answer to your question is yes. Even the sons of law school deans experience racial harassment, racial hostility, and racial prejudice on a regular basis. The subject of my college admissions essay was about how all throughout high school I was called an Oreo. That meant that I was black on the outside and white on the inside because I got good grades in school. That's the kind of
See, as black people,
experience.
He got good grades, so black people are supposed to be stupid. See, black people are supposed to be idiots. Not on his political views that he's smart and intelligent. So now he's an Oreo because white people are the ones that are smart, not black people. So that's the stereotype they've also thrown us into. That's the trick bag they put us in. That black people are supposed to be stupid and ignorant. That's our damn genetics, right? That's our genetics. We're supposed to be stupid and idiotic. That's who we're supposed to be. That's what we portray out here. That's what they put in their movies. Their goopy ass rap songs, this ridiculous ass music. That guys looking like idiots all over the world. That's supposed to demonstrate the black mind today. Nigger babble. Bunch of nigger babble. Grandpappy. Grandpappy Belvedere.
Is that black students need to write about, and as Justice Sotomayor pointed out in her dissent, because of today's decision, the police can consider my race when assessing my suspicion of a crime, but a college admissions officer can't consider my race when assessing my potential to contribute to a college campus.
What he said was so honest. Police can assess your race. They're allowed to tell you, oh, you're a nigga, you're prone to crime. You're a dirty nigga, you're prone to crime. So we're going to assess that you're a dirty nigga. Most likely you're going to be trying to steal some shit because you're a nigga. We're going to make sure we racially profile you. But we're not going to racial profile you to get you in no school that's going to benefit you, because it's not in the benefit of white power, white supremacy. It's not in our benefit to empower you, nigga. That doesn't benefit us in one iota.
That is the tortured logic at play here, and everyone is hurt by that. Not just black and brown students. Everyone benefits from that.
They always got to put that black and brown shit.
Threat because of this.
They can never be talking about black people.
Kyra, Janice, thank you for your.
And see, these are always the new confused Negroes that they use to tell a story. They can't say it's about white power, white supremacy, that's what it is. And then they got to go back and throw this mythical black and brown people, black and brown people, brown and black people, black and brown people, black and brown people. This affects black people, not black and brown people. Okay? Black people, not nobody else. Okay? Fix us. Not anybody else. Well, family. And that was janky tonight. I did 2 shows tonight. I'm gonna wrap this joint up. I'm saying much love to everybody. Everybody smash that like button on your way out, right? Everybody smash that like button on your way out. Say much love to everybody. Black, hot, fire. Smash that like button and hit the subscribe button if you don't mind. Sub to the channel, it's not gonna hurt you. Number much love. Let me do this. Sub to the channel. Don't be afraid of. Let me read the alarm. School's back out, stupid. Black, hot, fire. Much love, family. Woo! I take you out of here. Black. Damn, George, where the hell you been at, man? You good? Superhero. Latino said they have no superheroes. I don't know what they got, George. I don't. Black. Hot. Fire. How you doing, George? You good? I ain't seen you in a minute. You good? Whoa, come on. Black, hot, fire. We out. Woo! Much love, family. Black, hot, fire. We out. Black, hot, fire. Woo! Come on. Woo! Black, hot, fire. Put it in the pocket, y'all. Black, hot, fire. Black, hot, fire. Woo! We about to be out of here, fam. Black, hot, fire. Much love, fam. Black, hot, fire. Woo! Black, hot, fire. Everybody have a wonderful night. Everybody have a wonderful night. We out. Peace, family. Black, hot, fire. Leave in the building. Leave in the building. Black, hot, fire. Woo! Woo! Black, hot, fire. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Peace, fam. I'm out. Much love and have a good